Oh. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Neighborhood Improvement Commission. And first, I'd like to tell you how you can participate in this. To view a meeting, click on the link to the City of Seaside on your YouTube channel. To view or participate in this meeting, use the Zoom application on your smartphone, laptop, tablet, or desktop. Webinar ID number is 814-0330-1073. To listen or participate by phone, call 669-900-9128. Enter the web number ID 814-0330-1073. To make a public comment by email, you have to send it in by 2 p.m. today or on the day of the meeting. During the meeting, when the chair calls for public comment, members of the public participating in person may approach the podium when the chair calls for public comment. Public participation on Zoom can speak after raising hand features. Zoom application, click the raise hand button. On the phone, press *9 to raise hand and press *6 to unmute. Public comment is for 3 minutes for each participant. So we'll go to number 4. I mean, not number 4. Roll call. Yeah, roll call. Oh.
Commissioner Costello. Commissioner Alexander.
Here.
Commissioner LaBouffe. Commissioner Oleda Reed. Vice Chair Meyer.
Here.
Chair Riordan.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay. Is there any items that has arisen after 72 hours posting of the deadline? That is, this is the point in the meeting where a vote may be taken to add any items to the agenda. Anybody have anything? Nope. Okay. Number 4, it is open to public comment.
Members of the public, please approach the podium. Members on Zoom, please use the raise your hand feature. No one for public comment.
Public comment is closed. Number 5, approval of minutes from our last meeting, which was on June 3rd. Has everybody had the chance to look those over? Any changes? All right. Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The nays? Approved. Let's go to number 6, business. Review and select the house of the month for June and July 2025 and facilitate a discussion on the winners. Participation when honored. Select the house of the month.
You have a resolution? I put it in there. Good evening, Chair and members of the Commission. Dan Mewis, Assistant City Manager. We have a very brief presentation with the selected homes for the House of the Month for June and July. This cycle was provided by our Chair. under.
It's down Noche Buena. And
Make sure you share.
going north to the left in that area. It's very limited selection.
Right there to the right. Yep.
A lot of mobile.
All right. So this month for these next 2 months, we're actually we have 4 houses to choose from for 2 selections. So obviously we know what the background is for the commission to choose the house of the month. So for June and July, we're just going to go through these 4 and then we can pick the top 2 that you would like. So the first selection is 1031 Sonoma. And I believe you should have some photos in your packets as well so you can get a little closer look at them. Then we have 1141 Amador. $12.89 Trinity, followed by 1336 Kenneth. And I don't know if the chair would like to, make some comments on his selections.
Yes, it would. First of all, it's, I'll put it this way, it's slim pickings. There's a lot of mobile homes there. So it was, took my wife with me, drove around and really would be slim pickings. So after this, I suggest we split this territory up with another one. So there's a bigger selection. Because there's a lot of apartments and then there's a lot of mobile homes. That's why there wasn't a lot of the picture taken. So I apologize for that. 1141 Amador, those people are very nice. He came out, didn't want the picture taken. I do that like our other commissioner did, but I really like this one. And then the one, this one, I don't know what address that is.
1336.
They were just finishing up that fence, but they had redone that complete front, which was very nice. So.
This one? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
That's my number 2.
Oh.
Yeah, it was 16 something.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But that shouldn't be a deterrent.
My favorite is 1141 Amador
Me too.
is one of them.
Mine too. That's my number 1 pick.
Same here. So with that, I'll make a motion if we're ready for motion. That 1141 Amador be selected as the house of the month.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The nays? Passes.
Then we need
Oh,
another.
public.
Point of clarification, okay, June or July?
June.
And then my number 2 was the 1336. Kenneth. Are there others for that one?
We picked from the other 3.
Right.
So pick a number 1 from the other 3 then.
Oh, okay. My number 1 for July is 1336 Kenneth Street.
I agree.
I'll go with that. So I motion, since we have 3, I motion that 1336 Kenneth Street be House of the Month for July 2025.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Oh, no.
Oh, public comment?
Members of the public, please approach the podium. Members on Zoom, please use the raise your hand feature. There's no public comment.
Public comment is closed. I would like to make a comment. I would like to have it changed where the chair or another commission person would go out to the house and talk to these people if they have won, and to please show up to the city council meeting. Last week, we had it and no one showed up of the two winners. So you just stand there. And it'd be nice if we talked to them personally. I don't know how it's done now. And we go out there and do something like that.
So right now, the way it's done is the clerk has been reaching out to them, letting them know that they have won the award. And that's where we get the information on the gift certificate that they would like to choose. We let them know, and when the council meeting is going to be, that they're going to be presented. Those last meeting, we knew that one wasn't going to be available on that date. The other one did confirm, but didn't show up. So I think what your recommendation is to have the commission go and, like, maybe the commission's the one that notifies them, like, hey, you won, we collected information from the commissioners. And then they're putting a face to what's doing it instead of that phone call. And then hopefully then we can find a council meeting that would work for them. In theory, we need probably 3 weeks to get the plaques ordered, to make sure we can get the gift certificate and all that stuff. So right now, if we were to notify them tomorrow, we potentially could get this on the first meeting in August, but maybe we shoot for the second meeting in August. So that way it gives a little bit of time for the commissioners to go and reach out to them. That would be, my suggestion.
Dan, I have a question.
Yeah.
If that person that confirmed was going to show up but didn't, could they possibly show up at a later date at one of the other, when we're recognizing for another month, another house, and get their recognition at that time?
If that's the route we want to go, I know that after this last one, Jennifer contacted them and let them know to just come and pick up their award at City Hall. Because we did at least present it to the city council. The picture was on the board. Their name was, put out there as winning the House of the Month. And we understand that sometimes things happen and you can't attend, but I do think that maybe that extra little personal touch may help a little bit.
For sure.
And maybe, one of the things is whatever commissioner was the one responsible for selecting those houses for that month, that would be one of the tasks associated with this program, is then you would be the one making those contacts potentially.
I like that. That's a good idea. Yeah. Any other comments? No? So we'll do that.
All right. And then I think we need to redo the motion, or we have a motion in a second, so then you can vote.
All in favor?
Oh, all in favor?
Right.
Sorry.
No, we have to redo the motion.
Well, no, we had a motion in a second. We went to public comment, and now on the question, the chair gave a question. Unless there's no other questions, then you can go and make your vote.
Aye.
Oh, everybody in favor?
Aye. Aye.
The nays?
Nay. No.
Oh.
No nays.
It passes.
No nays.
No. Good. Got a little confused up here, So, all right. Thank you very much.
It's the big deals. Make people see.
All right. So we'll take care of that, and then we'll get the information from you, Jennifer, and these houses already been checked that there's no permit violations, nothing like that, right?
We'll double. You did check that? Okay.
Okay, yeah. I'll give you until next week or something. If I do. Okay, let's go to,
Through the chair,
yes,
may I ask who has August and September right now? You have it in front of you? Okay, no worries. I have it all. I just want.
It could be by process of elimination, because Ramona's gone,
done
you've
it.
gone,
I've done
and
mine.
Tiffany's gone.
Then I think it's me.
No.
And then at the end of the year, I think we need to regroup those areas. And, you know, make it a little bit easier.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to 6A, discuss tabling at upcoming events, 4th of July, Blues in the Park and National Night Out.
So I kind of expanded this a little bit from your request, Chair. You put specifically National Night Out, but I wanted to add a couple of our events that we do have coming up there in case the commission wanted to table. And I wanted just to provide a little information. You will see that I took the liberty of getting a little bit of swag made for the commission. So you do see you got these little first aid packs here. And I got some pins, and I think I have something else coming. In addition to that, I had a nice tablecloth made that says Neighborhood Improvement Commission. So that way, when you do decide to table, we have that, as well as I have a nice pop-up tent that I got that says City of Seaside Neighborhood Improvement Commission. So you are now set up to table whenever you would like, and represent the city. And even there could be things in those areas, for example, when you do the neighborhood cleanup and you have the two boxes maybe at Mal's Market, right? Maybe then you have your tent there. That could be like the hub, and people could be, whoever's stationed there could, have that out there. And it's just a nice piece to really recognize that the commission is participating in some of these other things. And then it can help spur some information and some discussions if you do table at the event. So I just wanted to put that out there that I had some money and I wanted to make sure that the commission had some of these things. And we didn't talk about it, as a group, but I made an executive decision.
I think it's a great idea, and I'm very appreciative that you thought of us.
I'm happy to man all the Blues in the Park. I'm there anyway.
Excellent,
I'll do that.
excellent.
And I would like to do National Night Out with the notification that I will be putting myself available for deployment with the Red Cross at that time. So even though I would like to do it, I could be gone. Just depends if I get called
Right.
to go to one of the disasters. So, we'll see. But I would like to do that one if I'm here.
National Night Out one, right?
I also, go ahead.
We were all there, national. Well, with the exception of Brian, but. Exception of who?
Always have some going on. Anyway. So do we want one for the 4th of July celebration? Do they have? I've never been to, so could you
I've
clarify
not
that?
been to it either.
Well, 4th of July, we're doing it here on the lawn. It's going to be a really big event. We're closing Canyon Del Rey. So there'll be a section on City Hall lawn. There'll be a section on Laguna Grande side. We'll be using the street to be vendors. We have the White Album Ensemble, a Beatles cover band, headlining. They've sold out Golden State Theater numerous times. So it's a really,
What?
high end. The White Album Ensemble.
They're good.
They're good.
Yeah. So there's it's a really great family event from 11 to 4. And I know it's last minute, it's this week, but I just wanted to put it out there just in case, if you're going to attend anyways, right? Parks and Rec Commission's tabling. So there will be other groups out there, but I just, if you don't want to, that's totally fine. I will put you on the list for Blues in the Park. So that way we make sure we can get your vendor application in, and then we will reach the police department is the one that's responsible for National Night Out. So we'll have to make sure we fill out that application for them, but it's no problem.
I'm happy to do 4th of July if somebody else is around for that. It's easy for me, but just one person might be
Yeah.
tight.
I can make it part of the time, but
Okay.
I don't know if I can commit. I'm doing the parade in the morning, and so I don't know if I'll be able to commit to that. Be gone that week.
Well, just if there's part-time. I don't know if we want to do this, I'll do it. Across the street.
What I'll do is I can have staff set up the table in the tent, and if you show up, great. If not, and if you leave early, just let staff know that you're leaving early, and we'll take care of that.
Thanks for all this. This is,
Thank you very much.
It's really
Sure.
nice. And what kind of pins were you talking about? The seahorse pin?
No, like writing pens,
Oh,
pens.
writing
like a
pins.
pen. Just something. Just it's always nice when you're tabling that you have a little something to give away, and
Yes.
people will be like, "Hey, wait a minute, I need a Band-Aid." Oh, the Neighborhood Improvement Commission gave me that.
Does it say Nick on the pen
Yeah.
too? Oh, good.
Right on.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay.
Want to vote on
This is really more of just information. You discuss internally that you did. I'm taking it in that you want to participate, so I'm going to let staff know that you will be tabling. Other than that, I think we just have to open up public comment for this item.
public comment?
Members of the public, please approach the podium. Members on Zoom, please use the raise your hand feature. There's no public comment.
Public comment is closed. Let's go to C. Receive an update on the fiscal year 25-26 projects recommended to the city council and establish a timeline for fiscal year 26-27 project submission.
All right, I'm back.
Ron.
We missed you.
I know. So we're going to go to now.
See better.
Sharon.
Where is that exactly?
That's a big yard.
Right across the street where the geese are all the time? And they're gonna put artificial turf there?
All right. So we're going to talk about the update on the projects we're recommending to the city council and establishing a timeline for the next round. So we know the background for the TOT funding. This current fiscal year for 25-26, the allocated funding was $311,924. So when we look at your project list, this is what we finalized the last meeting. So we had 10,000 for the tree giveaway. We had 12 benches, 54, and they were going throughout the variety of parks, the welcome banners, the electronic billboard, the wheelchair accessibility, electric box wraps, 2 murals, the solar powered picnic table, the lockers for personal items, bike racks, the new benches Laguna Grande, the gazebos at Laguna Grande, landscaping Kenny Del Rey, and then the sign for the National Monument, and then the Welcome to Seaside sign, which totaled 310,000. So during the budget cycle for city council, we had a special meeting on June 10th, and it was during that time that I presented the recommendations during the commission budgets. And so I presented this list. There was a little bit of discussion on it, and then we went through the rest of the budget hearings for that evening. And then at the end of the evening, then they came back and the council deliberated. They went through the process and decided on projects. So the project list as it is had some amendments and some removals. So when we look at it, overall, the council elected to remove 6 of the benches. So it cut it in half. So the total cost was 27,000. They removed the welcome banners, the electric sign. They removed 15,000 for the mural. So they removed one mural. We're going to have for one mural. They removed the solar power charging station, the lockers, and both of the welcome signs. And I will say that the main topic that came up during the council discussion was that they felt that a lot of the items weren't necessarily focused on the neighborhoods. A lot of them were kind of on the outskirts. While they did understand that some of them were within, there are neighborhoods within that. That's kind of what they were going back to. So overall, the reductions were 131,600, and then it left the projects that were approved. They did recommend and voted on and approve them with the 178. So what the council decided ultimately at the end of the meeting was to take the money that was removed from that recommended list and then use the money that was their 15% allocation and put it towards synthetic turf for Laguna Grande Park. They felt it was twofold, really. They really like the commission's recommendations for doing the benches and doing the gazebos and really enhancing that part of the park. And they also felt that coupled with the grant that the rec department got for improving the trails, adding synthetic turf here would really make this park a jewel, really improve it, make it really nice. In addition, the synthetic turf is also a deterrent for the geese. So we know that the geese are a problem over there as it is, and it is a constant issue. So they all came to consensus, and so it's not like they pieced it out. They went to one project. So now staff is in the process of looking at this and being able to get this done in this next fiscal year. The good news is that we have 12 months to get the project up and under contract, whereas in the past, if something like this would have happened, we would have been looking at 6 months or less. So that is where we are with the projects for this year. I'm going to be working with Public Works to develop a timeline for the projects that were approved and recommended. And then a couple of those projects, for example, like the murals. The mural will go through the Art and History Commission and have them discuss looking at potential locations, because that was one area that they were talking about. So we don't have a location yet, but I think it's a good collaboration to work with the Art and History Commission for that. And then the Art and History Commission will also take the lead on the electric boxes. But then all the other stuff, the tree giveaway will be through the rec department. The benches and the wheelchair accessibility and the landscaping and the other improvements to the parks will all be run through Public Works. So we'll be working on a timeline to get all that taken care of. And then when we start thinking about establishing the timeline for next year, I want you all to look at what we did for this current cycle. So if you remember, we set a letter of intent back in December to the commissions for project proposals. That gave them about 2 months for them to really think about it, to submit those letters. We did have an extension in there because of the holidays. We required those letters to come back at the end of February. We had a retreat in March. Then April, we identified the projects in March. April, we reviewed them, narrowed them down. And then in May, we finalized them. And then in June, we presented them to the city council. Just a little caveat here. This year was a little funky for our budget cycle. We were pretty behind the 8 ball when it comes to it. Normally, we'll do the budget study sessions in the end of May. We did them this year in the end of June. So we may just have to keep that in mind. Ideally, we would want to kind of finalize the projects in April and then be ready to have them presented to the city council in May. I will say that the way that it worked this year, presenting the projects during the budget was extremely beneficial. I think that really helped. It gave the council a really good idea. And then it also helps staff to make sure that we actually have enough time to complete those projects within the full fiscal year instead of waiting for half the fiscal year. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions, but kind of this is the overview of where we are with the projects that were recommended and as we look forward to the future for the timeline for next cycle. And I know that one of the questions that came from you, Chair, was about the potential of funding for this next cycle. We're not going to know about that until we get mid-year, where we'll have an idea, right? The new fiscal year's just starting, so that isn't a number we can get right now. But if we can, I think we should be close to what we had this year with around that 300 number, probably somewhere in that ballpark.
Can I ask a
Sure.
question to start? The big takeaway for me was, well, first of all, artificial turf, but I'm not gonna go there. It's already decided, I guess. But the tree giveaway was a big concern to me. I listened to everything online. The tree giveaway is a wonderful program. We're Tree City. We're encouraging people to plant trees, and it was cut in half because not all of the money was spent last year. We were 1,000 short or so, or 1,500 short, short of the goal last year, but so it was cut in half rather than just maybe lower it to 8,000 or something.
I would say even right now, like we just ended the program and I don't think I spent 5,000 with how many trees we gave away. So I think we're getting people asking about them, but we're not really coming close to that number. Apparently is what I'm gauging on that. Cause even though we have people, I think we had 100 applications. I emailed everybody and I think only 60 of them actually came up and picked up their vouchers. Right. So we're putting the word out, whether or not they take advantage of and come get it. And I don't even know, I still haven't gotten the final count from the nursery on how many people actually took their vouchers in to get it. The last count that I've had, we were right around 30.
So half of those that came in and got their vouchers. I have a question if I. Sure. So you said that the benches, so that would be something to think about for this next cycle, is maybe increasing the benches if they're good with that? Or is the amount of benches, I mean, I noticed that they decreased the amount of benches from 12 to 6. So should we be thinking about that for the next budget?
Yeah, and I think really what I was taking away from it is they really weren't too keen on the benches up on Eucalyptus. It was more they want to keep the ones down in the parks.
Okay.
Right. And I think they were good with kind of expanding General Gym going down farther. But right now the
Way
towards Hilby.
Uh-huh.
Right. But I think really what it was just going up high on Eucalyptus right now. Wasn't necessarily a focal point because they're getting ready to do some construction and stuff out there. And we don't necessarily know what the landscape of what that area is going to be like in 5-10 years. And when we start to do some
Sure. That's
developments out there.
That's good to know. Well, I have to say for the commission that I think we should just accelerate that timeline. Since that timeline works so well, it looks like we could accelerate everything by at least 2 months. If you're saying that we should probably have our projects presented to city council or at least finalize them by April. So that is a month, So, I mean, I think we should give the other commissions even more time. I think we should get the letters out like in August and give them plenty of time to think up. It takes time to think up ideas. They have to meet. And so I think the earlier we can give that notice to them, the better. And then once we have a timeline that really works, I think we should just keep it.
And I think really one thing the commission can think about too is, we did the retreat in March, right? If you think about the retreat, what do we use the retreat for? The retreat is for taking all that information in, digesting it and then going through and making some, that first pass at it. So that would be part of it is when do you want to have the retreat? And you don't have to make the decision now, but if we're accelerating when we're putting out the letters, do we want the retreat to be in beginning of February, end of January, somewhere in there? So that way we really have some time to dive in a little bit deeper just think about how many projects we reviewed in our March meeting. Right. We had a lot there. And if we speed it up and we have those commissions really have a lot of time and, the public is weighing in as well, we could take it from 50 to 100 probably, fairly easy.
And how could we get that information out to the public more? Is there a bulletin board? Can we put it on our city emails, newsletters that go out?
Yeah.
Just encourage the public to submit those to, staff, between now and whenever. But I think that early January is too early. I think that it's been a problem each time we seem to postpone it. But I think if we could try to schedule it for maybe late January, early February, maybe that would work.
Thank you. Mr. Mewes, thank you for filling us in on this. So I would just like to go on record as saying that what I heard you mention most, what caught me was that the council and maybe in staff as well would like to see these projects be neighborhood based. And that would make sense. We're the Neighborhood Improvement Commission and we're the stewards of these funds. But I just would like to say that I think that our vision needs to be expanded. If we are going to encourage other commissions and other groups such as FOSPA to make pitches to us, then we may have to, I just want to go on record saying that we need to expand our vision of these not necessarily being object-based or the old brick and mortar, but maybe service-based as well. If we're going to improve our neighborhoods, it might have to come to that because I really do feel like we're going to limit some of the inputs from other commissions if we just keep it at that. So I just hope we can rethink this and expand it more so that we can work with all the other commissions as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, the same thing. I'm going to add on to what Dennis said, but you said that your take was that there was supposed to be a concentration on the neighborhoods. Did they give an example of that? Do they want us to concentrate on the parks more?
They didn't really elaborate.
Because I don't get that part.
From what I was gathering, it was more, they just wanted to see more projects kind of more centralized within the neighborhoods. And like I mentioned, one of the things that came up was they talked about the medians on Canyon Del Rey. But for some people, those medians on Canyon Del Rey, there is a neighborhood right there that is a neighborhood for some, right? So it was kind of vague to say the least, but I think it was more, we had a lot, if you think about it, a lot of the projects were signs, entryways, gateways, not necessarily focused on the inside seaside. So maybe what I was taking away more, it was more of the interior, right? How do we focus more on these projects on the interior of seaside?
Well,
Go ahead.
Then we're going to have to go back to what Dennis said, because it's going to have to be more service oriented. Then it's not going to have to be brick and mortar. I just don't have the vision, but I don't see how we can improve neighborhoods unless we have block parties and taco trucks and et cetera, et cetera. I just don't. Do you want to do our streets over? Do you want to improve the yards? We couldn't do that. I still don't know what they mean by concentrate more on the neighborhoods.
Ramona's right. I mean, these are public properties, everybody owns their own houses. It's not like we're going to go paint their house. We can't do that. We can't do the landscaping. I mean, for me, it was focusing on the entrance to our neighborhoods and our city. I mean, to show that they didn't want the painted sidewalks, it's just difficult to come up with ideas when we don't have an idea of exactly what they're thinking about. I mean, it's very vague, and when we do present ideas, they're shot down. So, it's really difficult.
Yeah, I don't see where Oh, well, never mind, repeating myself.
I'd like to say a few words. Um, it's very disappointing of what has happened, that we submitted 13 items and 7 of them were cut to the bone. Number 2 is, when did the city council think of the idea of the turf? Was it when our budget went in there and then someone said, let's put turf over there? Or was this discussed before, that we could have been told that we're gonna take $131,000 out of you, plus the 15% that they took from us permanently? And so you guys need to work your list down to 6 items rather than submitting 13. Because we wasted our time when they knew this turf project was going forward. And someone could have called us, because I guarantee you, no one said one night at the city council, not in public, because I never heard it, that we're gonna lay turf over there. And I thought we were all working as a team. And that include the city council, the commissioners, everybody. And to do this and taking our 15% on top of that, it's embarrassing to us, well, to me, because it doesn't make sense. We work, we think of these things, we go out and look at things, we do this, we do that, and then you cut 7 of them because you're saying they're not neighborhood bound or neighborhood. I mean, Del Rey, the medium. I mean, I look at that. We use this word turd every time I go down. It's awful, and no one's doing nothing about it. So we thought we'd do something about it. The city council said no, because they're going to put turf over there, which is fine. I think it's a great idea with the turf, but there is no consideration for our time. And I know the council says it's not our money, and I understand that. It's everybody's money. But to tell us, oh, do this and brick and mortar and this and that, and then we do all that, it doesn't make sense. Because I know, again, this project wasn't thought up in one night. I'm looking at,
Can I just add a little
Yeah,
note
sure.
to that? I listened on Zoom to the council going over all our projects and you presenting them and the council going over. And I didn't last very long because we had put in so many hours and we got these quick, yeah, I don't like that. Nope, vote against it. And it felt really demeaning. It was so quick and I couldn't listen all the way through. So it's fine with me if that's how it goes. We just need some direction. You know, I'd rather not spend all this time if it's not at least considered in a lengthy discussion.
well,
So
I agree
that's
with
just
her,
a
I
quick-
agree
quick
with her
assessment.
statement, except it's not fine with me. It's the city council wants to tell us, hey, here is a project. We are going to take $130,000 of your money because we're going to put it to the turf. You know what? It's a great idea. All of us would have said, sure, here you are. But don't let us go through this motion and think we're stupid that we don't see this. And I'll say it to anybody's face. I feel stupid what just happened.
Can I just add one thing? Can't we have staff present their ideas? You know, the mayor kept quoting Monterey the way they do it. Well, we'll just turn around and do it the way that Monterey does it. Well, let's do it the way Monterey does it a little bit. Have staff come in here and give us recommendations. We know, okay, you want 50 grand for that, et cetera, et cetera. Can we work with them? I know we're not paid employees, but we need their ideas. We need
They
their
did that
ideas.
before. Remember, Ms. Patel used to come in and tell us that when the
Before-
first year I was on the commission, she
She
would
did it
come
be-
in and give us these ideas. and we would be like, yeah, we'll go for that. I mean, that sounds
Indeed.
great.
Well, if you remember, the public works director did come in and there was a couple that were included, and I want to just provide a little bit of context. So the welcome banners, they were concerned about durability. Like, how long are they going to last? Right? Spending the money, they wanted to make sure that we spent the money, were they going to last a couple of years, more than a couple of years. I talked about the benches. They weren't necessarily keen on going up to eucalyptus. So, they kind of took those ones out. The electric sign, the concern for that one really was coming around the added potential costs. While we were able to do the work to get the installation and all that, if there was something else that came out by the utilities or the power or something, then we would be coming back asking for more money and whether or not we actually had the money to do it. The solar powered picnic table, I'll say that the community member came in and gave a tremendous pitch on it. The council just wasn't necessarily not too sure of the idea yet on whether or not that's something that we're ready for. I think they're open to it, but at this point, there was more of the concern of the installation and whether or not it was the actual cost, which I did explain to them that it was the actual cost at the end. They just weren't ready for it yet. They had a lot of questions about the lockers, about the storage and who was going to monitor it and the programming for that. That was one of the reasons why that got pulled. The Canyon Del Rey landscaping did stay in there. And then this two signage, the signage for Fort Ord National Monument, not sure about the location right now because we're doing the work out there for Campus Town. So they didn't want to put something out there and then we're gonna have to remove it and find another location for it. That may be something that once that project gets finished, then we bring it back to it. And then the other welcome sign on CDR, that one they didn't really like. They felt that we need to think of something else over in that area and where we're going to put it.
Where?
The-
CDR?
Not CDR, General Gym
General Gym.
and CDR. I mean, they did provide some real reasoning behind it. It wasn't like, oh, we don't like it. There was discussion on it.
My point is, they knew that a long time ago. We didn't. They could give us a hint of, hey, don't put nothing out there. We're working on this project. We might come back later or something like that, or give us some guidelines because right now, it's a waste of our time.
Well, I hear what you're saying, Ray, but that's the whole, I mean, I'm not sticking up for city council. I'm just saying, I'm looking at it from another perspective that, they don't know what we're thinking about all the time. They don't know the ideas that we have. And, there's as many on there as we have, and not everybody agrees.
So
It could be a majority that maybe one or two of them said they were okay with it, but three of them said no. I mean, I don't know. I agree with you that it's a lot of work, but Mr. Mewis did give us a very good explanation as to why they didn't accept them.
Give us an explanation of when the turf.
That is
It's
kind of
finished.
iffy. That is kind of iffy. I'll give you that.
Iffy.
That seems like it was on the back wings somewhere, just waiting for an opportunity to come in and say, hey, we got 131,000. We'll use it on.
And I'll say that, the council did make that recommendation, but we still as staff have to vet it. That was one of those projects. We had the luxury of vetting all those projects, right? We knew what we could theoretically do. This came at the whim, so we don't have any information on it. So Public Works and I are going to have to go back and see what can actually be done here in that time. Yes.
But back to what I said, it would be helpful if, when the city is saying, if the council wants us to go to the neighborhoods, if they could give us a broad idea of what they're talking about, or some kind of general direction for us so that we aren't wasting our time, that we aren't spending all this time with these great ideas, thinking about them or whatever, and then they're just going to go. I mean, I know that they don't know what we're thinking, but if we had an idea of the direction they want us to go in, then it's a little bit easier than if we're out here in left field.
Well, and to be fair, I think I was kind of pointing you in this direction, thinking going off past what they did approve in the past, right? So like I'm taking in what they've done, and I'll be the first to admit I was wrong, I guess, on this opportunity here, right? Like I was like, yeah, I think this will, this could go this way and go that way. You just never really know, right? I think every year could be a little bit different. There could be something that comes up that one of you select and one other commissioner selects that we may never even think about, that when it comes to them next time, they'll be like, wow, that's a really great idea. Sometimes it's just, you're throwing a dart and you hope something sticks, and you just never really know. And things can change in the matter of, a week, right? We may have some great ideas and then something else may come from left field and we just don't know. So, I know that look, I was in those meetings. I know how hard this commission worked, and I'd say just keep doing what you've been doing, right? The opportunity that you're given to make these recommendations is a benefit to the city. Some are going to be great. Some are not going to, be selected. And I think just keep using that model, because there's always going to be, an opportunity to shine on some of these ideas.
So should we count on maybe 50% of it going away each budget?
No, I mean, this is an anomaly. I think that there were just things on there that
No, the anomaly is someone had the turf idea and took $130,000 from our budget. It's not coincidental. Someone had a plan, because this didn't come off of someone's idea just shooting off. Someone had a plan for this, and they knew we were coming with the money to the council. That's how I'm reading it. Okay, and I'm real steps. I don't believe in coincidence. I don't. That's just BS. Someone had a plan, and the plan worked, because we lost all the items we wanted.
And maybe I shouldn't say this, but I think the 15% too is something that's already planned in someone's head that he or she wants to do from that council. That's why that 15% came up. There's something that 2 or 3 people out of the council want to do. So just say it.
Through the chair.
Sure. I'm sorry.
First of all, can I remind everybody that we have to be recognized by the chair before we can speak. So make sure to go through the chair. So through the chair, I mean. So I just want to give some clarity to what I mentioned earlier. And that the council wants to see a lot of some of these projects go back into the neighborhood. And I thought of an example. Prior to being on the city council, when I was on what was called the NIP at that time, Neighborhood Improvement Program, and I was a reserve police officer at the time in the city, and I was going down to back up a fellow officer, and I couldn't get down one of the alleys between Noche Buena off of Hillby and Elm, and those are a series of alleys there. They were blocked with couches and TVs and all other kind of crap. But we got the NIC, that time it was at NIP. We got a bunch of neighbors together and we cleaned it up. Since then, 20 years later, it is still clean. It was one of the best things that neighborhood had ever seen, because cars can now drive through there. Police officers can go down there without getting an accident and hurting people. It's still clean. It costs some money. It costs lunch for us. It costs water, but there's nothing left behind. And that's the good thing, because all the garbage is gone. It's one of the best things that's happened in those neighborhoods, because it made it clean, but there is nothing left to look at. And that's what I'm concerned about, is some of the best things we could do for our neighborhoods would mean that it runs counter to what I feel what I'm hearing is what these funds are made for. And we're kind of running at cross purposes. So I just want to leave that as an example, that I think that some of these, that if we're going to go bring these back into the neighborhoods, we may have to be service-based sometimes, rather than simply project-based or like the term again, brick and mortar based. But anyway, I just want us to expand our vision and see that that's one of the things that could happen.
Through the
Thank you.
chair.
Sure.
Maybe we should focus on one big, large project instead of all these little projects. Maybe we should focus on a big project that is going to make a big splash, you know? And, you know, I said it before, I mean, we can, I'm not just trying to pitch it, but an example is, you know, focus on the things that tourism dollars are what pay our taxes. You know, we bring in these tourism dollars. It generates tax revenue for our city. Tax revenue does paves the streets and does a lot of things. So I think it's important to focus on things that not just for the neighborhoods, but things in the neighborhoods that are going to generate either raise property values or generate sales revenue. And that's what I think. And if it's a big, maybe we should think, like I said, on big projects.
Thank you.
To the chair.
Yes.
I just want to point out that you did a great job of presenting for us to the city council when I was on Zoom listening. I really appreciated that because it hasn't always, it's been a little rough in the past, and it was really nice to see our words there and our, you know, what we had presented. So I appreciate that. I concur.
You're here.
Yes, public comment.
Members of the public, please approach the podium. Members on Zoom, please use the raise your hand feature.
Goal was here to come and be quiet and watch because I haven't been here for a while. But I think it's important to take the heat and for what one does and why one does it. First of all, I want to thank you for your support of the 15%. I was disappointed that's the way it went down. Two council persons spoke in favor of the concept of keeping that. It just is what it is. The mayor has said this and said it before, that he would like for the city to bring recommendations to you and maybe a more collaborative effort. I have no comment, but that's something that he has pushed more than one time, just to let you know that. I'm the one that said the turf. This is what I knew we had 15%. And so I had my first choice, well, actually, the equally across, was going to recommend $60,000 for the small playground at Lincoln Cunningham. So that part would have been done for the most part because the large playground is being installed. So that was, I thought that was logical. The second was, I think, Pachetti Dog Park, a bench or a picnic table, as well as Mescal Neal. That was also on my list. When I saw how the vote, remember it takes 3, and I couldn't tell you how, I think I know how, and sometimes 3 people jump forward and they say, we don't want that, then the 2 of us just shut up. Or it's the opposite way, you just don't know. When I saw it broke, I had already put, the mayor has said, and I have said, Lakeside is a mess. When you walk on there for farmer's market just last week, it was a mess. When Dan says they moved it to 2 o'clock and by 5 o'clock, you can't walk it, it's a mess. Sunday Blues, you have 1,000 people there. By 10 o'clock, it's a mess. 4th of July, and there's no lawn left, really. It's just brown sidewalk, basically. It's not a really soft, comfortable, pretty setting as far as the lawn area goes. So when I saw that in the back of my mind, I did have my notes. I always write notes for my meetings or for those that watch. I had 4 items. One of the items was the turf because I see it I go out there quite a bit. I see it regularly, and I see the residents complaining about it. And I also see Monterey where there's no issue across the lake. And when I saw that there was 15% plus 130, I didn't think it had a chance in hell to be basically with you, but I just said, this is $250,000, Dave. Let's give it a shot. So I listed my priority. I made the Laguna Seca, the Laguna, but I did think about it for the last 2-3 months, and the mayor has been mentioning it for about a year. So as far as the poop issue, be it at City Hall lawn or across the street. So it was thought out. It was spent 2, 3, 4 weeks, 5 weeks processing and walking on it, seeing it. It wasn't a overnight window, but because I had the $60,000 which I was going to recommend, which I did recommend for the playground. So just if you're going to yell or be upset for that, I'll take full credit for it or blame, and that's cool. I also said to myself, on the other ideas that got approved, you're spending $1.6 million for a walkway. You're spending I'm making a number of $400,000 for benches and canopies. So it's a $2 million project, and you can't walk on the lawn. So that did not resonate. It didn't make sense. It's like painting. It's like fixing I don't know. It's like fixing your house, but not taking care of fixing the plumbing. It just didn't make sense. So I thought this would be fixing the plumbing, $2 million investment. So that I will take full blame on that recommended. But to be very blunt with you, I didn't think it had a chance in the world. I think the council made a good decision because of the way that area is, but it wasn't an overnight. I promise you that, because I always do mine, and Dan could testify that I always do my homework in advance, and my notes were listing those, and I had plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D, and that's what stuck. And then your council, your commission does wonderful jobs and the council does what the council does. And sometimes we agree and sometimes we don't agree. But don't go what I said because you have 3 votes there or 4 votes there, may go to the other. I just have Dave's opinion. I'm for the brick and mortar, and this is one of the reasons why I'm not going to go any other reason one. The city is approved 420,000 plus for social services. And I think it's like a Band-Aid approach. If you don't keep on fixing the Band-Aid every year, then the wound gets larger. So I am for brick and mortar. The city spends at least 420,000 plus, not to include Palinka Yards with their special events, not all the rental reservation. So it's probably, if you look at all the things, it's probably for social service, it's probably $600,000 to $800,000. But what this commission has done as far as brick and mortar, and the most favored one is the benches on General Moore Road, got a lot of love as well as the murals. That's going to be there forever. But a Band-Aid, a good Band-Aid is going to be there for 1 year, because then you got to put another Band-Aid on it. And but you all do what you got to do. And I appreciate and always listen to you as best I can. But that's just, like I said, if you're going to put blame, I want to take the blame in person and let you know my thought process, but nothing else. So when you walk out, you know that it wasn't done on a whim. That's all I can say.
I really appreciate what you just said.
Okay.
But I got just one question.
Okay.
3 months prior, couldn't you have walked up to one of us and just said, hey, Ray, we are thinking about doing turf over it, and we are going to use some of the NIC, use some of the TOT money out of that budget. That would have told us to slim our wish list down rather than researching everything. If the mayor was thinking of this a year ago, it'd have been nice to hear about it a year ago before we even went to our March
No, the mayor wasn't thinking about Lakeside to my memory. He was talking about the serious impact on the lawn at City Hall and across the street related to safety. It wasn't one particular area, to be really honest with you. I had thought of it. I put it on my wish list when I was taking my notes, but when I saw the extended amount, your stuff got brought forward, I said, you're spending $200,000-300,000 on stuff for over there. Let's make it. But I did not truly know what I was going to recommend until I saw the numbers. But I did have A, B, C, and D. I didn't know if the council was going to have any ideas. Obviously, they didn't have any ideas. It appeared, and they liked the idea of that event of the turf, because the amount of tourists that come to that city and they can't really find a place to sit, or they can't walk without being whatever, they can't play. That was the logic. Probably if I would have thought it had a chance in the world 2 or 3 months ago, or even if I knew all this other stuff to enhance the park would have been improved, I didn't know that was going to get improved. I was surprised by someone when it came. I don't think I got it until maybe a week and a half out, maybe a week, which you guys recommend. And that's when I started finalizing but I don't think I got that list until late in the game. And that's probably my fault. But yeah, in the best case, I say this nicely as I can, and probably very politically incorrect. Just because I have but I only have one vote. Doesn't mean my vote's it doesn't win very often, So I just thought I like to things see completed. I would have loved to say Lincoln Cunningham Park. I fought for Yosemite Street because it was half baked. I would like to see things finished. And once you get the 1.6, $300,000-400,000, people can play on the grass. People can walk and people can sit on the grass instead of brown and raggedy. It looks green, if nothing else. So it just had more of it. But I probably could have if I would have known all the things that I've known after the date. So that I'll take blame.
Well, I wanted to ask you a question, but I also wanted to say, if it seemed like I was blaming Mr. Mewis, I wasn't. He's the best liaison we've ever had, and in my opinion, and I think he does a great job. My question to you is, how you said the mayor wants to see the staff collaborate with us. He says that, but we never see anything happen, or maybe I'm missing it. I mean, how is that supposed to happen? By osmosis, or?
No, the mayor threw it out as an idea, and he's done it more than once. And staff, I think the city manager's leadership will provide other ideas, and maybe, because he did mention the Monterey thing again. But I think he's trying to find a way. So maybe, and we did, I always don't agree with the mayor, but don't tell him that. He's thinking that some of these things wouldn't be go through, that you've wasted your time because you've already got a little bit of buy-in. And that's what I heard him say. I'm not saying right or wrong. I'm saying that's what I think I heard him say.
Right.
As well as the other commissions, you mix and match the city's ideas with the other commissions and come with a plan.
So
They still may lose. Who knows what the council's going to do in that particular night?
brick and mortar,
That's only mine. I don't know if I have a whole lot of love for that opinion.
yeah. We should start looking at brick and mortar, sidewalks. I mean,
Yeah.
we're putting turf in for the tourists to sit on and have a little picnic area and be real nice, but we got residents tromping through water, knee high,
Yeah.
because there's no sidewalks. They're walking down the middle of the street when it's pouring down rain because it's all flooded on the sidewalks.
And I will say this on two things. On Dave's opinion, and that's probably not worth a whole lot. One, more than just tourists use the park.
Yeah, I.
So get
Hold
that.
me to my
Yeah.
sarcastic remarks.
But,
What I'm getting at is.
you should recommend, you can, I'll pick an area
Yeah.
because I'm looking at here. The area by, God, I can't think of the name of the place, Covell School, Seaside Elementary School. It's all weird. That whole area over there, there's nothing wrong with throwing. I'm not saying what the council will do. I just don't have a clue.
Well, that's in the neighborhood.
Yeah, it's more of a neighborhood. Anyway, and it ties into I'm just using that because that's the first thing that popped in my mind. Do what you guys feel is important. The worst thing that you can do. I mean, I throw out ideas all the time and probably 80% gets blown away. So, it's just part of the battle. You feel good about the 5 or 10 or 25% that you win the little war. Not a war, but your concept is move forward, and it's just part of the process. It's not sometimes how, how the bread is made. It's the process of getting something done. And it's not easy. This is not an easy process. It should be easier, but it's not.
The same thing that happens in Congress with bills.
Yeah, and sometimes I told this, I wrote this to a friend today. I said, and this is Dave Pacheco, and the city manager is not here when I'm saying this. Unfortunately, we try to copycat the federal government. We're not necessarily don't do things for the right reason. And it takes an arm and a leg, even on the best of ideas. And even if you have the greatest ideas, if you're not, say it right, you're not liked, it's not going to be approved. That's not necessarily healthy. It's not necessarily good for the overall good of any organization. I believe very selfishly, city government tries to follow the federal government's mode of operation, and that's, I think, the worst thing that we can do. But that's Dave's opinion. That has no merit on anything. That's just my opinion, and it's not as Dave. Dave is who he is. But I don't, like I said, I was hoping to not say anything, but I just want to explain to you my process, and just really clear. It wasn't done overnight. It was thought out, and I had different steps that I was going to recommend, thinking none of them would get blessed. And okay,
Thank you. I appreciate that.
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Through the chair, may I make a comment?
Yes.
Wait, is
Oh.
there any more? public
Oh,
comment?
any more public comment?
Just the arrow. Right.
There we are.
Call it again.
Members on Zoom, please use the raise your hand feature if you'd like to comment. We don't have any more comments.
Public comment is closed. Back to the commissioners.
I just want to make a comment regarding the synthetic grass. Because I belong to FOSPA, I know that the mayor wanted, maybe it was more than just the mayor, wanted to have the islands covered with synthetic grass, and FOSPA had to talk him down to putting the gravel and the palm trees, etc. But that was that's what he wanted first, or they wanted first. So now we're going to put synthetic grass, and I'm not opposed to having that improved over there across. That should be something we should be able to look at while we're driving by. But you are going to get some negative feedback regarding synthetic grass. And why, can I just ask a question, Dan? you said that the geese, it's a deterrent to the geese. You mean they don't go to the bathroom on artificial grass?
Ironically, they stay away from it because there's no food source. Right. So, and if you look at across the way, on the Monterey side, the soccer field, the geese don't go on it, and the geese don't go on they have a synthetic volleyball court. And if you look, the geese will be strategically placed around it. So it is one of those things. So if there's no food source for them there, yes, they may go to another spot over here or, over the eucalyptus side potentially. But, that is the thought process.
Can I ask a question? This may be out of line, but, do you know about that park? Why are all that rubbish along the shoreline? All those reeds and stuff, you can't even see the lake. You can't even see the lake. I mean, maybe that's to hold the earth. I don't know, but it seems like there's so much of it and so thick.
So it's a very long answer that I could provide. Short answer is it's in the coastal zone, so there's very limited stuff that we can do within the coastal zone. However, part of us getting the grant, we are going through the process to be able to get the permits necessary to remove the invasive species and limb back some of those areas. So as of right now, we technically can't even go in there and trim back anything. We'll have some very specific limitations to what we can do when we get those permits, but it has taken the JPA years to go through the process to get those permits.
See, and that'll be part of the process when you're putting in the artificial turf and all of that.
That'll fall under the permits that we're getting, but it's really started with the grant and even before the grant with the JPA, the three entities working together to make the park, to clean it up a little bit because it is really overgrown and there's a lot of invasive species and things of that nature. So that's the three agencies, City, Seaside, Monterey, and the Park District. We're all working together to make that happen.
Very good, thank you.
Any other comments from commissioners? Nope. Thank you.
I just want to clarify, just so I can kind of hear what the commission was saying. So when we start thinking about the timeline for the next year, we're going to try and release the letter to solicit ideas. End of August, beginning fall, probably somewhere in that time frame. We will have an open period for the submissions. We'll look at having the retreat to be late January, early February, and then kind of speed up that timeline up a couple of months there. We will also look at creating more of a social media kind of campaign and putting it in the newsletter to let the community know that we'll be soliciting proposals and to either solicit them in, to the liaison or the clerk, or even coming to future meetings and just speaking a public comment when we have that open period. Does that sound about right?
Yes, do we have to vote on?
I don't know. I was going to ask, can we have the chairs of each commission come to our retreat? So we could ask them what projects they were going to come after.
We can definitely reach out to them and let them know that, right? But I think, just depending on the timing and stuff, that's why we just asked them to submit those letters. I did recommend that they do come and present their items. Sometimes they can, sometimes they can't, but that can definitely be added to the letter when we send it out to them.
So to the chair, can I clarify the timeline? So instead of December, we're looking at fall, fairly early fall. Instead of January to February, that will be November to
November, December.
And then instead of March 1st, we're going for end of January.
Yeah.
Early.
Maybe February 1st or somewhere in that.
Okay.
In that area.
And then we're ready well before budget time.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you. That sounds good. And also the social media presence would be helpful. Get some public input.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I think it should be late summer, not early fall. Oh, late summer.
Late summer could be September.
Summer just started. On the 21st?
Forget, we have an Indian summer here, September, October.
Thank you for all your information, and there's no blame coming towards you, no blame going towards anybody. It's just a statement of my way of stating things that, like I said, I don't believe in coincidence. I, in real businesses, it doesn't happen that way, so I gotta get out of that framework. All right, reports from commissioners. Anybody have any?
Where are you gonna start? Let's start.
Yeah.
I just wanted to give my praises to the leadership of Dan Lewis. I know I've never said that out loud, but I really appreciate you a lot.
Yeah. It really is.
You're not saying say that to my boss. Right?
Is that your
Who's your
boss?
boss? No, just kidding.
And Jennifer.
Oh, Jennifer is excellent as well.
We're very happy with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
It's on the
I
road.
want to thank our liaisons here. You guys are doing a wonderful job, and welcome to our new city manager. I don't think we had a chance as a group to say that to him yet. So welcome to the city, and looking forward to working with you at some point. I just want to put out there again, we are, I'm in the process right now of putting in smoke alarms, and we adopted it as a project with the Red Cross some time ago, and I'm doing appointment based right now. So again, I'm doing quite a few in Seaside. So if anyone would like to join me sometime with that, putting free smoke alarms in houses, or if staff knows of anybody, please let me know, and I'll go ahead and put some smoke alarms in their house. It's free. It's provided by the Red Cross. I also want to thank the fire department. I see that they had cleaned away the dry grass and weeds from Mescal, on the other side of Mescal, between General Jim Mescal. It looked like it was definitely a fire hazard, and it's all cleaned away now. So, thank the fire department. I think Cal Fire was out there as well. So great. Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't have any comment other to say that I appreciate our city staff and our staff liaisons, and our city council. I do appreciate the job they do. It's not easy. A lot of people are arguing and mad at them, and they have a hard job. And so, I mean, I know that we are mad at them sometimes because they don't go along with our ideas, but it is what it is. We all have different ideas about how things should be, but I just want to say I appreciate for anybody who works in the public. It's a very difficult job, and I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Mine is all in the art world. The new mural is going up at Oldemeyer. It's almost there and it's fantastic. It's just a stunning mural. And I think people are really going to appreciate that. There's also a great art exhibit at Oldemeyer that that's worth going to see. And then there's this, and we have a great new art exhibit here. And I want to thank staff for all that help in putting it up. There's a bunch of great kids who are really hardworking, both at Oldemeyer. Well, they're Oldemeyer staff, and they came here to help us with that. They were awesome. Thanks.
Thank you. No comment. No, I'm just kidding. No, you know what? I know personally, I get invested in things. I believe in what we're doing. And yes, I get vocal. But no disrespect. I just call like it is. And that's how I was raised. But you know what? I think you're doing a great job. I really do. But we'll just have to play the game a little bit better. Okay. All right. Reports from staff.
That was it. Oh,
Hey,
reports from
staff.
staff.
No.
Sorry.
Nothing major, just letting everyone, want to remind the commission and anyone watching, the city will be celebrating Red, White, and Blues on Friday. Sunday Blues in the Park will be beginning on the 13th. First week, we will have Kay Bowler and Chris Kane, and they'll be doing a little tribute to Joe Louis Walker, who was originally supposed to be our first week, but he tragically passed away. So we are full swing of everything. And then a little bit of bad news, the pool has been out of commission for a while as our heater is undergoing some repairs. So if you are a swimmer, please bear with us as we are working to get the project or the fix as soon as possible. But thank you for all the kind words. I really appreciate it. And it is really a pleasure to serve all of you on this commission. I've had a really wonderful time.
And you're not leaving, so. Right, boss? No, you're right.
You know, as far as the pool heater, I'm from Wisconsin. We used to jump in Lake Michigan on
Exactly.
New Year's Day. So I don't give you that.
Yeah. All righty. That's it. Thank you very much, everybody.